It's another day in the neighborhood. Another day to be a neighbor. I just don't feel like working today, but I've got to get this Durham's rock hard water putty down. The sun is shining. I'm still in my short pants. I still got short pants on. I refuse to wear long pants just yet. It's only 48 degrees out. A high of 58 today at 3 o'clock, and here it is only 9 in the morning, and it's still cold. But I've got to get this going. What is this? Plastic shims. I don't know. Am I going to use these today for something? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And I've got to level out my knee pad, of course, and my gloves. Looks like I'm ready to work. So I'm going to set up. I'm going to take my cardboard, and I guess I'm going to set up down there. Mix up down there. And then I'll start up here at the top. Okay, well, I've got the steps all primed. I primed those the other day. I put 2 coats of mold killing primer on there from Zinsser. And those, all of the steps except the top 2. The top 2 are new steps that I installed, 4x12s. All the rest of the steps were existing. It's about 17 years old. And they were glulam beams, the size of 4x12s, header material, and they used it as stair treads. And I scraped all that paint off of there, the existing paint, because I knew there was a little bit of mold underneath there, so I wanted to kill that mold before doing anything. So that's why I put the primer on, even though I'm going to cover the primer up now. What's the point of putting the primer on? Well, to kill any mold that was on the stairs underneath the paint, the old paint. And there was some too, believe me. Okay, so now I'm getting ready for the next step. And the next step is taking the level and checking out the stairs. Alright, come over here and I'll explain this to you. Now here's the thing with these steps. There's nothing underneath these other than underneath the house. Okay, it's all boxed in. There's no air that can get in underneath there. Well, there's moisture and stuff like that, but when it rains, when the water hits onto each one of these stairs, I want it to come downhill. I don't want it to soak in and go underneath, set there on top, and kind of go back a little bit. I want to make sure that every single one of these steps is sloped out at a slight angle. And I did that. I did that on my first couple stairs. Let me get the level. The first couple stairs I installed, and I think they did that too, is level is up at the bottom by about, I got about a 1/4 inch gap. So I know when the water hits right here, it's going to go downhill and drop off to the next step. And that's how I'm wanting all this stuff. See, this one's at the same angle. I did good with those. And I had to do that because the stairs are almost 12 inches wide, 11 1/4 inches wide. That's a lot of surface for the water to just set there. And I don't want that like that. Okay, so that one's lifted. This one's the same. And now we get down to the nitty-gritty. Our next stairs, which are the old ones. I have not checked these yet, and I'm curious to see if they're angled. And see this one here, good grief, I'm looking at that, and that's actually, if the water's here, the water's going back. For this to be level, I'd have to raise the back end a 1/16 of an inch. But I don't want it level. I want it higher here to slope downhill. Right? So I'm going to have to raise this up. If I don't, the water's just going to set on here. And it's going to go back and it's going to build up, and eventually, even if I have that all this caulked and stuff, eventually you get a little hairline crack, kaboom, down through there on the back side, gets all wet. Gets your stair stringers wet on the underneath here. It gets the back of your riser wet. It gets on the inside. It builds up moisture. It can start causing mildew. It can start causing mold. It can start causing dry rot. Can you imagine every time it rained having water go down there, and we get snow here, and it's just going to be a mess. And you do that for 10 years, this is all going to be eaten up on this step. Let me check over here. It's probably going to be about the same. Yep. It's going downhill. And so that's a bad one. That is not a good one at all. So I'm going to get my pencil out. Let's see. This one's going downhill too, from the front on back. That's a no-no. Oh my God! If I check it that way, that's level. That's level. They did kind of a good job with that, but they were very consistent of making this the wrong way. What's with them? These were reputable builders in town, and they just failed here. Let's check the next step here. Same thing. Same thing again. Those two steps. I've got to raise those up at least a 1/16. At least a 1/16, and they're probably the same over here. At least a 1/16 to be just flat, just level. And I don't want it level at this point. I want that at an angle coming down. You follow me? We want it higher at that end. So when the water hits here, ba-boom, 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 water sits here and it slopes out. This one's level. I think they did it, at least they did it consistent, but now, woe is me. This one is pretty good. It's higher up there. It kind of has a rolled edge. I'm going to have to raise the back side a little bit. And this one, good Lord. For it to just be level, I would have to raise the back end about 3/16 of an inch at least. Right now, if I poured water on here, the water goes back on the inside, and that's probably what happens over on this side. And that's level, but it's got a bow to it, and I know it's low back in here. This one here was shaved off. The whole back of this 4x12 glue lamb is shaved down here, so any water hits right in here, it just settles here, goes down that way, and sets there, goes in underneath the stairs and all that. So that's a bad one. And this is just as bad. Level is right there. Good Lord. I can't believe that. Level is at least 3/8 of an inch higher than that. That is one bad step. If I even look at the step sideways, you can visually pretty much see that the tip is way higher than the back. It's going downhill. You see what I mean? I don't want it just flat. I want it going uphill from the left on down. And so this step here is the worst one, but just about every single one of these steps I'm gonna need to do some work on. And here's my thought on that. Let's talk about this a little bit longer. Hey, seems as though we're doing such a good job on this whole project. Why not do this area right too?